Welcome. Welcome to Client Building Mastery. And so today, the goal of this class is to teach you how to enhance your client experience, how to effectively manage the back end, like being very intentional about the way that you operate inside your business and with the client experience. And if you're intentional with the way that you go about having clients or building that clientele, that will result in increased sales in retail and in services, and then is essentially resulting in a full book of clientele, which then gives you opportunity to raise your prices, and then it just kind of snowballs over and over and over and over again, so that you can continue to maximize your profit year after year after year, and then be better at your craft and be smarter in business, and then you'll be able to take on more things in your business. So this is going to be a 2-hour class, so we're going to take some notes, we're going to have some open conversations, and then from there we're going to be able to customize kind of the experience based off of who's in here. So we'll talk about certain things or certain industries, but when I'm coaching one person, think about how this also relates to you in your business, because it doesn't just have to be hair or skincare or nails or whatever product or retail that you're selling, or product or service, that you're selling. These business concepts can relate to anyone. So I start my classes with the 3 containers and 5 rules. Can somebody give me what the first container is?
Student.
Be the student, yes. Which everybody that's taking time out of their day to learn in this class is the student. So we wear multiple different hats when we're learning, and so today I just ask you to wear the student hat and just be open to learning some new concepts. What is the second one?
Teacher.
Yes, teacher. So I am the educator or the teacher right now, so I'm teaching the content and everything, but you will also have an opportunity to be a teacher when you share, when you talk in other groups, and when you apply this in your business. You'll be able to essentially self-teach and train yourself. So you are the student and you are the teacher. And what is the third one?
Material.
Material, right. So when I say material, what I mean is, when you're the material, I use my experiences a lot of the time. That is the material. So the content that we're teaching here, people's experiences, their shares, all that. Sometimes you'll say something and I'll ask you, hey, are you willing to be the material right now? Because then I'm gonna coach you through that moment of that, something that specifically pertains to you. And it's a learning lesson for everyone. So be the student, the teacher, and the material. The second part of each one of my classes is the 5 rules. So can anybody tell me what rule number 1 is?
I have 4. I only have 4 of the 5. Be open.
Okay, yep, be open. So when I say be open, I just mean be open to learning something new. Be open to maybe learning something that you've heard before. Be open to maybe that there's going to be a new possibility, that you may hear something or hear something that somebody says, and then it lands and resonates with you, and you're able to take that and apply that and then make you more money in your business. So just be open that you might actually hear something that you don't know, or even if you do know, you might hear it in a different way. What is rule number 2?
Don't hide.
Yes. I was almost skipping ahead in my brain. I was like, wait, I had to go through them. Don't hide.
Like, it's opposite. That's all I know, is that it's opposite from that.
Yes. What does it mean to hide?
To not want to be, like, seen by other people, be, like, closed off, and not really, like, be open about, your work or, like, what's going on.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, when we hide, sometimes we don't ask questions.
Shy, yeah.
We're shy, or we have thoughts like, oh, it doesn't matter, or this doesn't pertain to me. Yeah, so my request of you is to not hide. Mm-hmm. Don't hide. You're in the classroom, and look, you're here, you work here. I'm a total open book, okay. So it would be doing yourself a disservice if you hid. No, rule number 3.
Be present.
Be present. When I say be present, I mean right here, right now. Like, yes, we run businesses. Yes, we've got things going on. Yes, we've got vacation on the mind with this rainy weather that we're having in the summertime. But when I say be present, be right here, right now. We have 2 hours. Just be open, suck the bone dry, get as much as you can out of this class that you can, so you can take it back and then apply it in your business and start to collapse time and achieve your goals. Rule number 4.
Never give up.
Close.
Get stuff done.
Go all in.
Go all in.
Yes. Rule number 4 is go all in. You're close. You're close. So go all in. So you run a business, you might as well go all in on it. It's a lot of time. It's a lot of effort. You might as well just give it your best shot, or your love of the business is going to die. Then the love of your career and the artistry and the craft around it will also die. And what a disservice to yourself to enter and spend so much time and energy just to turn around and hate it. Now what's rule number 5?
Never give up.
Never give up.
Okay, so I was right.
You were right.
Maybe
You were
just a little
right.
bit out of order. It's fine.
That's okay. That's okay. Never give up. Don't give up on your business. Like, it gets hard. And I'm telling you, me and Josh have good days and we have bad days. Like, we had so many more bad days in the beginning than we did good. And we just learned different tools, resources, thought process, ways to handle things in our business, and one at a time, just one class at a time, one process at a time, one try, one fail, one try, one success. We now have way more good days than we do bad. And when bad days come, they're actually not like, oh, the world's gonna end, catastrophe. We're just like, okay, we got a problem, we're gonna solve it. And so we can act more powerfully in our business, which just takes us to the next level every single time. Or it turns into a beautiful lesson and we're like, hey, look, that didn't work out so well for us, but we're aware, we're learning, and we are not doing that again, you know? So never give up. Do you have any questions on the 3 containers, 5 rules? Perfect. The goal. So I wrote goal here is because I kind of want to get an idea of where you guys are at in setting goals, or not setting goals, but in building clientele, and what are the kind of the goals that you have around. Is it something you do set a goal? Do you pay attention to how many clients you have? What are some of the goals out of this class that you want? Like, what are some of the things you want to learn, or what are some things that you struggle with?
I guess, like, I feel like all my clients are kind of like regulars or returning clients, so like, I guess making them more comfortable.
So like more like enhancing the client experience.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. Anything else?
Building stronger relationships with
Okay,
clients.
strong.
Sometimes I feel like it's hard to talk to some of them.
Yeah.
Or like you can't really read them.
And it's hard to read somebody when they have their eyes closed, right?
Yeah, right, exactly.
Very hard to
even
read
just,
somebody.
Like their body language too, like will just tell me off the bat. So it's like sometimes you just can't read a client.
Yeah. And then we'll try some things and we don't. But if you enhance and you make the client experience amazing, they'll either feed into that or not. And you're going to know how to like turn the dial up on relaxation or turn the dial up on, getting to know them and the relationship aspect. Because building clients, there's a lot of stuff that goes into building a decent clientele.
Right, because anyone can get a client, but it's like you have to keep it, learn how to keep it.
And that person has to be for you.
Experience. Right, yeah.
Like you can't, I'm not everybody's cup of tea or shot of whiskey or whatever. And everybody else is not for me.
Right.
I learned very early, like in one of I think it was the Power Selling and Budgets class, I talked about that I would just take in bikini barista clients because they were just high ticket. Right. I was after that like high ticket thinking that was going to make me successful. And I was killing it on the client experience and with the systems and following up and everything. They would tear apart their hair. They wouldn't take care of it. They wouldn't come to their appointments. They were a mess, if not like on substances, which I'm not going to put up with in my salon. And it just became chaos. And my joy of my job and the time and just of them put me in this space where I was like, no, I hate this. Isn't worth it. No amount of money is worth your happiness. But if you can attract the clients that you want and that you love, obviously we want repetitive clients, makes it easier to build business. But how do we take those clients, enhance their experience so then they go get more people like them? Because over a long period of time, that's how you're going to grow your business. Right? Okay. So enhance client experience, strong relationships. Anything else?
I can't think of anything at the top of my head, but I feel like it'll come later.
It'll come later. Great. So if you have any questions, just stop me at any point in time because I will just like, you know me, I'll give information out of a fire hose.
Sounds good.
Okay. So this is your client, right? Oops, I should say this is your client, right? We talked about in power selling that your client goes through a cycle when they, and then you put them through this cycle from the time that they see you to the time that they click book, come in, get services, and then all the way around, like this cycle. Well, you do that with all of your clients, right? They become regulars, which you've experienced in your business. But the goal here is how do we turn this one client into like 3 or 4 clients, and then they times 4, and they times 4. You know what I mean? Because we talked about time, right? One time, and making sure that you're booking accordingly. When you do some services, you only have so much time in a day. But what if you built a big enough business that you were bursting at the seams that you had to take somebody else on? And then you got to teach them what works for you. And then that you build them up, or maybe another person and stuff. Some people have a desire to have a team. Some people don't. I will tell you, you'll get to a point here where you'll max out your time. Yes, you'll increase your prices. Yes, you'll kill it on retail, but then it will just be consistent because you'll max out with your time. So then you'll have some decisions that I'm good with this, or I'm gonna explore like a different avenue of the beauty industry while I'm doing this, maybe education or leadership or something, maybe new trainings. And then you've maxed this out, and this one person has turned into so many people that are just like them. So that's the goal here, is how do I take that one, turn it into 4, turn it into 16 more, then, so many more after that and that and that. Now, one person may not refer 4, one person may refer 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think that's a personality thing. Some people just want to come and do their own thing, and their lashes look great or their hair looks great, and they're like, who do you go see? Oh, I'll have this girl. Some people's personalities are like that. You're gonna have to try a little bit harder with them to either come back to build, or you're gonna have to entice them with something so that they are like, oh yeah, I want to tell her. But if you give such a great client experience and you build a relationship, they're gonna say, you have to go see her. She's my girl. So our goal here is to turn 1 into 4, into 16, into like more and more and more over a period of time. And the way we're gonna do that is the first thing we're gonna talk about is client experience. Because this will never happen if you don't nail down your experience, because you know how to do services. I don't need to teach you how to do better services, but we need to teach you how to have this enhanced experience that will help build those relationships. But then it will also be that like insurance that your business needs, that you're like, oh, I'm solid. Like my clients, like I understand the process of them buying. I understand how to perform the service, but let's talk about before, during, and after that experience and what needs to happen so that they're like, she is the only person that everybody goes to. And then we're gonna go in to talk about what are some non-negotiables. Like, what is a non-negotiable in a client experience that you absolutely cannot sacrifice? And it's gonna be different for everyone. Non-negotiable for me, any types of drugs and alcohol. I have contracts signed, I have morals and all this other stuff. Drugs and alcohol, that's a non-negotiable in my client experience. Being late, non-negotiable. So we'll talk about those things. Objections, like when you're talking about like, oh, I don't know how the client is fitting into this. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about how like you're like, oh, client's not digging this, and how to kind of adjust that. Then we're going to go into the last part of this is going to be, I call it the 4 R's: return, review, referral, and retention. So we're going to talk about getting them to return. What are some of the little things you need to do in the client, which is just maybe some easy questions. I know you've heard me talk about this before. Having them review your business, that's how you get better. And then referrals, we have the referral program class coming up, but how do you ask for that referral without being like really weird? And then retention is, are you paying attention to how many people are coming back? Are you paying attention to if somebody is referring somebody that you actually thank that person and follow up? So do you have any questions before we get started about how we're going to turn, this is our goal here?
I don't think so.
Okay, great. You don't have to have questions, I just want to double check. Okay, so let's talk about the client experience for a minute. So put yourself in your client's shoes and what you currently have built out for your business. What is the experience before they come in that they have before they hit like before they walk in the store? What does the process of that look like?
An easy booking website.
Okay. So you have a website.
And I have like, well, my Instagram, but like that's kind of
Okay,
like my
social.
portfolio. Yeah.
Okay. And then they go to a link, right?
Yeah, link.
Okay. And then at that link, do they pick services? Like, what is that experience like?
Yeah, so they can like obviously pick their service, and then my like policies and my hours of like business are there, and like a little blurb about like me or like what I do. So it's kind of like more personal.
Perfect.
Yeah.
This is perfect. This is exactly where I'm going. Okay. So link. So you have services. Do you have your pricing on there?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. So here's the part of doing this. If before you do all of the work of getting them really clear of this is who I am and this is how I operate, once they get in, all you got to do is execute service, right? And then we only got to worry about client experience. And then afterwards, it's easy to follow up. So then you can see like your reaching for those clients becomes so much easier because you have some things in place. So this is great. So some people are really good at some things and not so great at other things. Like for me, mine was the before for a very long time. I just had people text me all the time for appointments.
That's how I used to be too.
Whew, my time
Yeah.
and my energy and the
Exactly,
demand. And then I hated clients.
Yeah.
Right? But I loved them.
Yeah.
You know, I just didn't like that because I wasn't really good with this experience before because I thought I needed the control of my business. Okay, services, pricing, you said policies, right?
Yeah, policies and like a little...
And then like about me, right?
Yeah, like about me section or whatever.
Okay. Okay, so that's all before. Okay, so then let's say they book, okay? What happens after they book? Do they get a message?
Yeah,
Is
so
it a reminder?
Confirmation message, so they'll get a text reminder and an email reminder, and then it'll send them a couple texts throughout whenever they book their appointment, and then there'll be like a confirmation button, and then what are they called? Consent forms, like liability and stuff like that.
Okay.
Linked on there.
They have to have that done before they can come in or before they can book?
Well, usually it'll just be like when you book, it'll have the option to like fill out the forms.
Oh, okay.
Do then. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay, so you can see how the client experience so far is very convenient and very easy. So I come to Attitude Aesthetics. I see her on Instagram. See, she does like Becky's awesome green lashes and Mike Lean's awesome green lashes. And I'm like, I need those lashes, girl. They send me to her social media. I find a link. I go through, browse all of these services. And is it through like Lost Genius?
Yeah, mine is through Gloss Genius. So I have it all linked on like a link tree. So it's like
cool.
My Instagram is linked on there, my TikTok stuff, Facebook, and then my consent forms are two on there. So it's just easy for them to do it before.
Cool. Awesome. So you can see the client experience has been super easy and convenient. And the perspective from the client is, oh, Isabel's got her business figured out. This is a professional. So when you are thinking about the client experience, we're going to talk more about strategies in strategies in marketing, but think about dating. Think about going on a date with someone,
like
right?
A client? Is that what you're...
No, I'm talking about like in your personal life, think about going on a date with a boy.
Okay.
Okay. So you go out with your girls, you get all beautiful, right? That's your website, right?
Yeah.
And everything like that. Then you're out, you're having fun, and a guy comes in the bar and he's browsing you, right? That's where he's like trying to figure out like, is this girl worth it? Should I go make an offer? Like, should I get closer? So I know it's like a kind of like a funny thing to think about, but I heard this at a mastermind and I was like, duh, date your business, right?
Yeah.
And it makes it so relatable, right? Okay, so then he's coming over and everything like that, and he comes over and he gets closer and he's checking you out and everything, and then you're just being you, and then he has a conversation with you. This is the about me. They're trying to your clients are trying to figure out, is this girl worth it? Should I book? What's her pricing like? Is it clear? Same thing a guy would do when he's checking you out from across the bar. And so then he comes over, he talks to you, you guys exchange. He's like trying to feel, do I make an offer to like go in and get this girl a drink? Do I not? It's a funny concept, but no different in your business. So then they book and then, hey girl, can I get your number? That's the like confirmation right there. Like, hey girl, can I get your number? And then you follow up with this text, email confirmation, like, hey, now we're communicating. So the client experience so far has been, it's been easy, it's been convenient, it's been fun. It's like you create this like desire and this intensity without making it sexual or anything, but like this is what the client is going through subconsciously as they're looking at these things. And it doesn't matter what industry you're in, every client goes through it. That's why they say sex sells, is because there's a seduction of sales that happens through marketing and through ads. So this client experience, the better you do all of this, the easier during is gonna get, and then after becomes just super simple. All of this, how much time and effort do you put into this before process?
Well, like putting it all together, it took me. Like,
no, I'm saying for every client, how much physical time do you?
It takes me like me personally time because it's already set up and ready for them to go.
Perfect, because you've created
like convenience. Is why, so.
Automation. So you, during this whole client experience, before you even see their faces, have not had to spend any time at all.
If it's a new client, I will say I will reach out to them and like ask them like what they're looking for, or just so they can also have a conversation, obviously, with who's doing their eyelashes. But I just kind of like to build that established so I know what's going on before they come in for their appointment.
That's good. That's why I put the 1 off, because that's about the client. You're enhancing the client experience. Your regulars, you got that. Like they fit into this part right here. They don't fit into the before. We're talking about all new clients, right? Because your client's just going to tell somebody. So these 4 people right here we're right here with them. Okay, so it's new, it's easy. You reach out to them, personal touch that shows like, hey, she knows what she's doing. She's trying to get to know me. And the way you talk to them shows professionalism, which is something to think about. Sometimes I have scripts that I send out. I just save them in my notes.
I need to write one of those out.
Makes it so you're creating automation. So if you put a script in place and you personalize that script, like, hey, Jill, I see that you have an appointment coming up with me. I just wanted to reach out to you and get to know exactly you a little bit better and see what you're looking for. Make sure that our timing is correct so that I can give you the best client experience when visiting Attitude Aesthetics. That will sell them like that. And if you just do pre-script, you're not, once you grow this capacity and you have all these new people, it's copy-paste.
Instead of writing it all out
every single time. You're creating automation. So as you grow your capacity and you have less and less time, you'll have to automate those kinds of things. So think about that now. What if you just started training yourself off right out the gate to just be automated in your messaging? Or sometimes can you set that up on Gloss Genius? Can Gloss Genius send them a get to know you? Can you set that up and it be automatic? The returning clients will just go through onto your books, and the new clients, it'll have a follow-up email. You could easily do that. Okay, so we're dating, we see each other, we make contact, we get phone numbers, we're talking to each other. Now it's time to like do the deed, right? So the service is basically what I mean. So the client comes in, right? You have the address and the phone number. All this was all done before, and they come in. Let's talk about what happens during your client experience. Everything from what they see, what the process is for them to get into your bed or into your chair, or when they come into your business, then they're serviced. What does that experience look like for them as soon as they come in that front door?
Well, most of the time, like, oh my gosh, your room's so cute. I love the lights. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it's so cute in here. Oops, sorry, I just kind of like spit. And then I'll tell them to put their bags either like on the chair or on the hook so they can get comfortable. Ask them if they want any blankets, or like I have like a client snack cart so they have like water or drinks or soda, candy, anything like that. Which I've had a couple of clients tell me like, oh, I've been to other people and they've never offered this before. Like, this is super cool. I love that you do this. Or like, ask if they had to go to the bathroom before because it is going to be a little bit longer laying down. I made sure that my bed is comfortable because I've laid on some lash beds that are not comfortable, and I've gotten a lot of compliments on my bed too, so having like an elevated leg pillow has really helped a lot, or like padding underneath, just client comfortability, I guess.
Okay. So they come in, you welcome them, you guys chit chat, you make them comfortable, you offer them snacks. That's why I put in the Little Stars brand. It's part of your brand. That's what makes you stand out, is how do you solve the same problem everybody else do, but how do you do it in a different way? That little like, oh, snacks or making sure they're comfortable, all of those like little tiny things go into your brand, go into what you stand for, and then that is the client experience. So keep going with that, because this is perfect.
And then I also, like, if it's a new client, I'll kind of, once I've already touched bases on them, I'll have them like hold a mirror, and then we'll like talk about their eye shape. So eye shape obviously is a huge thing with lashes. So if they have like more downturned eyes, I'll talk to them about like where I'll lift their eye up, what lengths I'll use, what lengths they're comfortable with, if they've ever had lash extensions before. I've had a lot of clients be like, wow, I've never had someone do this to me before and my eyes out like that. So that also, to me, like, is kind of touching in a way.
Perfect.
I'm doing something no one else is really doing.
We're coming up with agreements.
Yeah.
What are we doing today?
I want to make sure that obviously they're spending their money and investing in something, and I want to make sure I can give them that.
100%, yes. Yeah. So we're having agreements, we're making agreements, we're setting, I don't want to put expectations, but essentially you're like, what are you looking for? Like, what is the expectation that you're looking for? And then also, when we talk about client conversations and contracts, we'll talk about listening to what your clients are saying when they don't say. When somebody, as soon as you were like, oh, I've had my lashes done before and they're not comfortable, girl, listen to the things that your clients say. Oh, I've never had that before. Oh, this is the most comfortable space. Because that will tell you some of those things you're doing fantastic. And then when you ask the questions, because they're so comfortable and it's been so convenient and we're like having the time of our lives, when you say, hey, what can I do to enhance your experience? And then they're like, I don't know, girl, it's the best. You know you have those people in a bag to refer you. You know what I mean? So that building and that selling of yourself and the experience is done. Now you just replicate it over and over, and then you can focus on reviews, referrals, and growing capacity. So then you're automating this whole process of your daily routine, so you can actually focus your business mind on the business stuff. Do you see how like these little things start to kind of separate and start to give you, it's easy over here, and then the hard stuff you can focus on versus hard, because then we burn out. Okay, and then you educate, which is awesome. I always tell you, educate your clients, get to know what they need. They say they want, these giant wispy lashes.
If they want something, I feel like every client will come and be like, I want a cat eye. And I'm like, okay, well that doesn't always look good on everyone. So like, yes, you can give them that, but also try to adjust it to what their eye shape look good with it also.
Of course.
You don't want to get something that's going to like droop your eyes down.
Same thing with haircuts.
Exactly. Like,
you don't want somebody with a round face to have a short bob underneath their chin. Yeah. You don't want somebody with a long face to have long hair all the way down to their butt. Like same thing. Or guys that their hair sticks straight out. Yeah. You're not going to give them like, it's either super, super short or you're growing it out a little bit. You're not going to right where it sticks out, of course. So what this does, this during, like of you talking to them and having conversations with them and everything, what this does to the experience is it positions you to be what we call the CEA, the celebrity. So like the celebrity of what you do, like, oh, she is the best. Like my girlfriends call me #famous friend. That's what they call me. They're like #famous friend. Because in their eyes and what I do in my life, and because I help them enhance their lives, and they are my biggest supporters, they're like, she's my famous friend. She teaches, she gets to do events, she gets to speak on stage. I'm the celebrity in their life, which doesn't give me any type of status other than good positioning, because they'll always support my business. They will always come to me. They will always come to my team, no matter what. Good for me, because the client experience and then the friendship experience, which is a whole different.
Yeah, trying also another thing when like client building mastery is like sometimes you have clients that turn into friends.
Yeah.
And you have maybe I shouldn't say this out loud, but I had a little hiccup with one of my clients that is my friend. So it's like trying to have those boundaries where it comes with non-negotiables or objections. It's a little bit hard and rocky when it comes to
we'll talk about that
friends and clients.
We'll talk about that, because guess what? I do my friends' hair. I do my family's hair. I'm also retiring. We have different kind of conversations to have. It has nothing to do with them, nothing personal about them. Like, remember how we said we were like kind of dating our business? I have to break up with my business, which is hard. but I want the transition and I want the growth in my business because that's the next level and capacity that I have to go to. And I have to sacrifice some things that once worked for me to get to that new level, which is okay. But because I am seen as the celebrity, the E is expert, like the expert in lashes, the expert in hair, the expert in education, it gives you authority. And that authority is and power and confidence. I know what I'm doing. I know what's the best for you. And so when I recommend something or when I tell you like, hey, you need to come in, you will do it. And it's not manipulative. It's not about control. This is about being a good marketer and a good service provider, and not just a good one, but like a great one, which will translate into dollars and profit in your business, right? That's the end goal, but there's so many little things you got to do before then.
Yeah.
So when you do this with it's easy. We're like, we went on a date. You were so welcoming and comforting. We got to know each other. We came up to some agreements on how we're going to hang out and what we're going to do and everything like that. Then I guess when I was like, oh, then we're going to do the deed and seal the deal, whether that's a date, whether that's an appointment, whether that's whatever that may be, that's the time to execute, which is the during of the service. And then you obviously provide the service.
Yeah.
You provide the service, you do the service, and then what happens after your service is over?
I check them out, make sure that they're happy with what they have, if they like the links or like the style. If there's anything that I need to change, probably best let me know now rather than trying to get you in later.
Yep.
Ask them if they want to take home any snacks or if they need to use the restroom. I'll give them, if it's a new client, I'll always give them my business card and like a little goodie bag, so like a, I don't know what you want to call it, lash spoolie. I don't know why my mind was blanking, but it's like a little new client goodie bag so they can take
like an appreciation, like a gift.
Exactly,
like thanks so much for coming in. That's
Go
perfect. That's that is the gift part and the comfort from the beginning. You're going into this like celebrity expert authority. You just execute and nail this service. Then you check in with them. From a client's perspective, they're like, oh my gosh, she knows her bleep. You know, like she is on point. And you're like, I've only been here a couple of months. They would be blown away because that's where you collapse time. But you don't have to tell people, oh, I've only been running my business here for a couple of months. You just get to be a powerful business person. And then they're like, oh, all you're doing is being intentional about how you provide the service. This right here, this client experience that we were talking about, this is what gets people to come back every single time. Every time. If you can nail this client experience, and like you said, a new client gets a gift. What do you do for the clients that have come in and seen you all the time?
Sometimes I'll give them like, so I do like punch cards or like a scratch off. Like say they purchase like a lash bath kit or whatever, like aftercare kit. There's like punch cards and a scratch off thing. So the scratch off sometimes will have like free brow wax or like do like small little free services or something that they'll appreciate.
So you have an opportunity, you have created an opportunity for them to come back again. This is so perfect. This shows how intentional you are about the client experience, which is no wonder why the lashes look amazing every single time and that you're not having a hard time building clients. But now we're going to grow capacity. We're going to grow more and be like, okay, now we know what we're doing, but we're going to just dive in deeper. Okay, so your client experience is fantastic through and through. So how do you want to enhance your client experience?
Well, I guess when I say it out loud, I'm like, oh, that doesn't sound too bad.
It's amazing. Some people just come in, their people get on their table, they don't say a word.
That's what it used to be. But then, like, also me, for the 3 containers, me being a student or like the person like on the bed, the client, like I have understood what I would want for myself. So like trying to enhance that. Like I'm on TikTok all the time and I see like these like client elevating their experience. So whether it's like getting a heating pad for your bed, or I seen this one girl like make these like personal her brand name and then like put like chips in a little chip bag and like it had like aftercare instructions on the back and it was like really cute. So it's kind of like personalizing everything.
Personalizing your brand and your experience.
I think just more personalizing everything and like making it like, oh, if I go to this girl, she does all this. Like this is what she's known for. and like even like the aftercare, or if it's like the education part, like at least she's known for, like I just want to be known for like good things. Obviously, who doesn't want to be known for good things, but like treating people with respect and
So reputation.
Yeah.
Is what that. Retention also is your reputation. Because people that are retained know who they're buying it from, see value in the dollars that they're spending for the service that they're providing, and then when they are referring other people to you, what that shows you is that your reputation is forming as being that CEA, the celebrity, the expert, and the authority in the things that you're doing. So that's why I was like, how do you want to enhance this? This is fantastic. There's a lot of people that come in, sit down, what do you want?
I feel like there's more that I could do, but I feel like for the main part, I've checked off a lot from the beginning when I first started.
100%. That's why I was like, let's walk through this, because some people have limiting beliefs that they aren't that good at certain things.
That's me, because I'm always the person who's like, okay, well, what's next? What's next? What else can I do next? Or like, okay, this is good, but it could be better.
Well, how about you're very good with this, and then let's grow capacity. Like, what's next?
Yeah.
More. More of what you're doing. Like, you've figured out what you're doing. Now let's see how we can grow more, right? So give me some non-negotiables, like in your client experience, either things that you will not tolerate with your clients or that you will not allow in your salon, or just some non-negotiables, like I could not live without doing this during the experience.
Cleansing their lashes before, like, some clients will say, oh yeah, I clean my lashes, but like for me, it's like a safety net, so I will always clean it whether or not they do clean their lashes, because sometimes they do like to lie.
Yep.
Another non-negotiable, preferably no kids, but if you ask me, and if your kid is not like 2 years old or younger, then yeah, sure, bring him in.
Okay. Children?
Yeah.
That's okay. Kids are allowed in my salon, but also same thing. They have to be respectful.
Right, yeah,
we have contracts here about being respectful to the business owners that we're having around. I had a little guy come on last week. He was screaming bloody murder. Guess what I told his mom? We ain't doing this day. I'd rather do this a different day or figure out how he's going to be more comfortable, because him screaming at the top of his lungs ain't going to work for me.
Yeah.
In the middle of the day. And it's also traumatizing for me, right?
Yeah.
I have some non-negotiables with children too, even though I welcome children in my business. It just looks a little different. Okay.
Yeah, I do too. It's just kind of depends on the kid, I feel like.
Yeah. Okay. So what other is a non-negotiable?
Late, like tardiness or no shows. Or obviously that's everyone's.
Yeah. What about you being late? Is that a non-negotiable for you?
Yeah. For sure.
Okay.
I will say if I am like running late, say if I'm like been a little too long in the coffee stand line that I thought I was gonna be earlier, I'll ask them if they want something.
Yeah.
Or like I'll like give them a discount if I am late, which like I try to be here at least.
So you're at least like you are on time. I am always try to be on time and always live by my calendar, but things happen, so I always, if I know I'm going to be late, the minute that I know I'm not going to be here early, I text that client like, hey, I'm running a couple minutes late. I do apologize. I'm on my way. And every single time, what is the response?
Right. Yeah.
No problem.
Too. Yeah.
Because you've worked on this part for the returning client. Now a new client, if you're late for a new client, that is hard.
Yeah.
So I'm very much like, I also don't take a lot of new clients anymore, but if I do the same thing, get to know them, because then kind of when people are like, oh, hey, I've had lash person just not show up, that's not the day. Even if you're late in the coffee line, you be getting out of that coffee line, right? Because they have told you before, like, hey, somebody's just not shown up. And if you instantly traumatize them with the, oh no, my lash artist isn't here, it's so much harder to sell them through the client experience and build them as a strong client. Okay. So cleansing, sanitation, basically sanitation. Policies around children, lates or no-shows, or any other non-negotiables in your business?
I cannot stand, I'm gonna put some people on blast.
That's okay.
Myself. When I have a client that's like a picker, but they like lie about it, or like lie that they're doing aftercare, it's like, okay, well I know that you're lying about it, because I can tell.
Do you say that exact same thing to them?
No, I don't.
Okay.
Oh gosh, no. I think that would not be a very professional way of saying that.
It might, depends on how many times you have to tell the person.
Right, that is true. So, I don't know.
I've told somebody their hair is ugly before. I'm like, girl, your hair's ugly. I can't hide this. And it's funny, but also at the same time, I'm like, that type of person, like I'm just gonna shoot it straight. And guess what? My reputation is, hey, go see Lacey because she will tell you the truth no matter what. But she's kind and she's loving, but she'll tell you the truth. She'll tell you whether it's good for you or not.
Yeah.
That boils down to reputation, because during my client experience, I'm like, hey girl, like I just tell you, you know, those white and red highlights, lowlights, that ain't working for you. No.
Yeah.
Hello, Kelly Clarkson 2000, right?
Right.
Like it just doesn't work. Like
Yeah.
you can have it, but let's take care of it. But also, it's not the best look, and it's definitely not fashionable, or, you know, it stands out more. But if that's your goal, I can respect it, right?
I feel like for the most part, I'm pretty like chill and outgoing, so like I don't really have a lot of like feuds or anything.
Okay, I have one in my salon. No sex. Talks about sexual anything. No politics. And religion.
Yeah.
Now, the reason I say these things doesn't mean that I don't talk. Okay, I should be careful with what I say. When I say no sex, politics, and religion, in my salon, we don't get into the transgender conversation. Lacey, personally, does not care who you are. I'm here to do your hair and provide you a good service. I don't care what your sexual orientation is, and I don't care what your opinion is on other people's sexual orientation. I don't share my opinion, so I do not want anybody else's opinion shared. And I love everyone. You know what I mean? Like, I would be like, go talk about whatever.
Anytime something like that comes up, I kind of just steer clear, because I don't like talking about that stuff too, because also like it's not very good on your brand. I will give you an example though. I went to my lash tech's lash artist. I don't know what you call it. Tech. I went to her studio, and she runs a studio with other people. And I happened to be in the bathroom, and I was washing my hands, and I look over, and they have like a bunch of stuff. So there's like toothbrushes, mouthwash, deodorant, pregnancy test, everything, right? And I look over, and I happened to see this picture, and I was like, interesting, okay. Let me show you. I thought it was, I seen this, which like everyone has their own opinion, and that's fine. But they weren't on that a couple months ago when I had looked over, and so I took a picture of it, and I was like, Jackie, I think someone vandalized your bathroom. And she's like, what are you talking about? And so this was on there, which, whatever, everyone has their own opinion, but and then she had texted the boss, and I guess the boss had done that, but it wasn't on there like a couple months ago, so I was kind of
so somebody's bringing in their personal opinions into their business.
Think is good for a business.
Correct. You are running a business, and this is about providing a quality and just amazing experience for your client or your customer. The worst thing you could do for your business is put any type of whatever you feel personally about it. Now, this is where your friends and family that are clients come in. Because family, they like to bust down every boundary that we have in this world. And so do friends. So how do you separate that friend and that family relationship to business and professional? What are you going to tolerate in your business? And you're going to just have to get used to saying, we're going to talk about this objections. Like, hey, look, I just don't talk about that in my business. If you want to talk about that some other time, great. But we just don't. I do not put up with one beauty professional in here talking bad about another one. I do not put up with it. Not in my salon, when I'm doing somebody's hair, not when I go and talk to them one-on-one, and not together. That is non-negotiable for me in my business, is the drama and the trash talking and the cattiness here. And that also boils down into through COVID, right? A lot of people had a lot of political and personal and all these opinions. I cut that out. I fired people for telling me, you need to do this or you need to do that. Or you should vote this way or you should vote that way. I cut those people because I can't be the celebrity expert authority when I'm on the defense all the time. Politically, I'm not in politics. I am a hairstylist. I'm here to provide a hair service for you, not battle you for presidency.
I just think that something like that should not be at like work, maybe, you know? Like, that's just a big no-no for me. Because like there is people who have gone through, like, I don't want to make anyone uncomfortable. And my job, like you said, is you're a service provider. That's
you're a service provider, and you were talking about this client experience because you want the people to come back to you. If you're battling your clients, likely that they're not going to come back to you. Now you're wasting your time for what dollars? And you start to go against everything that you're trying to build, right? Okay, So we have some really good non-negotiables. So no sex, politics, religion. Yes, do I talk to my clients about religion? Yes, do I talk about church? Yes. Do I ask people about their religion? Yes. Clients that I've had for 15 years.
Right.
And only certain ones that I know are capable of being able to have this conversation. And every single time that I ever want to talk about like religion, it's for me to be the student and to learn. And learn to be more well-rounded, not learn to have judgment. I want to get to know people. That's my purpose, is educating and getting to know people and making people's lives better. So I get to know them. And if church and religion is a big part of their life, I will ask them as a purpose, very intentionally, to get to know them. And with me being on my own spiritual journey, they ask me questions, and even though we're different religions, we're able to have this very professional and very profound and very impactful spiritual conversation. Because I know what my non-negotiables are. Even if it does come up, like somebody's spouse cheating on another spouse, or maybe, it comes up. It does, 100% comes up. And you can't avoid some of it sometime, but how you handle it is just know what your non-negotiables are. Right. Policies around children, perfect. You can put that all in your policies. I've seen that no sex, politics, religion as a policy in people's business. No tipping is a policy in people's businesses. The no drumming or trash talking, it's in our policies and procedures here in this building, and we stand behind that because that's a non-negotiable in our business. So take some time to think about, these are the non-negotiables in my client experience for me and for them. Because also a non-negotiable in your business should be I'm not going to bring up my own personal crap. Yes, you may be struggling, and yes, people want to have conversation, but if you are using your business and the appointments as your therapy sessions, you will never build a good clientele. You're there for them. You're not there for you.
Right.
So a non-negotiable should be deep, introspective, personal talk, personal life. Now, what about when you do life with friends?
What do you mean?
You do life with friends. You hang out with them. I go to the gym with my girlfriends. They come in and see me. They come in and see me and do hair, and then they have drama with another girl, and then they want to bring it in my salon or in my space, my professional space. Now what? What does that do to the client experience once we cross those boundaries?
Are you saying if they're talking with someone else?
Yes, they have drama with you've got your group of girlfriends and two of them have drama. One of them comes in your salon or spa, and they're bringing that drama into your business.
I just kind of shut it down or talk about something else.
Perfect. You have to, because the more that you allow some of that personal, this is how you separate the family and the personal, because believe me, family's got drama. Friends got drama. It will come in and people will talk about it. There's been times where there's stuff that happens at my gym. It's been talked about, but nothing that I wouldn't say if that person was right there. I'm very intentional about, I would not say anything unless I did not care if that person was standing right there.
Right. That's something that I have put into my business, or not even just my business, but myself. I just don't.
And why? Because that reflects you and your brand.
I don't want to disrespect my peace, or I just don't want to.
Yeah.
If it's not causing me peace, I don't want it.
Right. So a non-negotiable in your business, first and foremost, during this client experience, should be using your business as your personal therapy. It will happen. It does come up because we have family and friends that are clients. It will happen. Right. But the goal is to be intentional and operate as if you don't accept all of those things. So when it does happen, all you have to do is just either change the subject or even just put up a boundary hey, look, I'm servicing you. I want you to love this and not just feel stressed out about the drama that you're going through. I wouldn't maybe say drama that you're going through, or maybe the experiences that you go through. I say things sometimes and I'm oh, because I'm just really blunt. But people, if I say that, they know that I'm not trying to be mean. Because they just know Lacey, who she is, just tells it how it is.
Right.
And then, hey, you got a lot of drama in your life. This now is not the time. This is your time. I want you to enjoy your hair experience, not have another life experience where you have to talk about this. And guess what? They love that, and that enhances the client experience. They're more likely to refer you to somebody else later, or just that's your go-to. So as you think about this is all about client experience. This is really how you build clientele, is from really thinking about before, during, and after. What will I put up with and what will I not put up with?
Right.
Because then all these little things enhance the experience. Okay. Do you have any questions before we go to objections?
I don't think so.
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. I try to make this stuff super straightforward and easy for you to understand. So you're like, okay, this is where I'm at. This is what's happening. This is my non-negotiables. And now we're going to talk about objections. Like, how do we overcome some of the objections around building clientele? So what is something that somebody does or doesn't do that you would like to see them do more of, like with your clients? Is it referring? Is it reviews? Is it pre-booking? What are some of the objections that you see in building a clientele?
I feel like for the most part, I don't really like say anything about reviews, or I probably should, but I don't. I do have reviews on my booking website, so you can see all of those on there. And sometimes I'll even like post them on my Instagram, so they don't have to go to my link and see all that, so that they can see it there too. Let's see, what's another? Can you repeat the question again? I'm blanking right now.
Yeah, no, you're fine. What are some of the objections? Like, what are some of the things that if you were a master at building clientele, your books would be 100% full? What are some of the objections that people give you for maybe reviews or referrals or pre-booking?
Yeah, sometimes it can be pre-booking.
Okay.
I feel like
pre-book.
sometimes if I go like on my stories, I'll notice that like if I say something about pre-booking your book, because typically sometimes really busy for me.
Yeah.
So it's like put thing out there like, hey, if you don't pre-book now, like you won't have a spot later. Summertime is really busy, so the whole month of June has been very chaotic, but also very blessed. So, yeah, just having everyone pre-book their appointments, that way I can also see how my day is gonna go, or what I need to move around and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah, pre-booking. I can't think of anything at the top of my head.
Time. About your time.
Yeah.
This isn't, the client experience and building clientele isn't just about them. This is also about you. Sometimes it's time. For me, it boils down to time every single day. Like, I feel like I don't have enough time, which tells me I'm doing either things that I shouldn't be doing, things that could be delegated, things that I could get better at, or you're at a capacity and it's time to raise to another level, but you're just mindlessly doing things that don't serve you. But we're not there yet. We're definitely not there yet if we're just open in business. So sometimes it's time. So sometimes, like, for me to build like a maximum clientele, I just spend too much time on my business. I spend too much time on marketing. I spend too much time cleaning my space or preparing. And so you really have to think about like what is actually taking up your time. What are you actually doing? Are you being dedicated during the week on one day to plan out your whole week? Or are you trying to do it every single day? Because that little increment every single day is so much more time than if you just took an hour on Sunday to plan out your week.
Yeah.
And then you're like being effective and efficient and automatic. And then when you come in here, your business will also run that way. So sometimes an objection of building clients like, oh, I just don't have enough time. When we got time. If you don't have time and your books are booked out for 4 to 6 weeks at a time and you have a wait list and everything, we have a different kind of an issue to talk about. Let's raise our prices. Let's get smarter about our timing or our booking, or maybe let's possibly talk about a team, right? Because you've hit that ceiling or that cap, right? So sometimes the objection is time. Sometimes the objection is energy, because some people are moms. Some people are dads. Some people are very madly in love and have a new love of their life. Some people are getting married. Some people own multiple businesses. Some people travel all the time, you know. Some people help their family members. Sometimes it's energy, like, oh, I just don't have enough energy to put into really enhancing this client experience. So some of the objections are energy. So if an objection in your business is, oh, I just don't have the energy to do all of these things, that comes down to self-care.
Yeah.
That comes down to rest and recovery, which says, okay, there's a hole in our business. If it's time, That means structure, automation, and organization. If it's energy, that is personal care, that is rest, that is recovery, that is how you take care of yourself. Can you see, like, to build a clientele, objections can go either way.
Yeah.
And if the clients are struggling with the pre-booking thing, we can combat that with a story post, with a marketing post, like, hey, pre-book. What if you had one of those scheduled once a month? What would that hurt? That's one less marketing post and it becomes automatic. How weird how we keep talking about automation and how to make things automatic, because you will start to operate in your business so fast and create so much momentum that you need automation to keep you going. Because if you are trying to push all these things all the time, you're going to experience burnout, and then you're not going to have time, and you're not going to have energy, and you're going to be like overwhelmed, and then you're going to shut down. Can you see how that happens to people?
Yeah.
It's happened to me multiple times in business. So I know that it's a problem or an objection into me growing to the next level. Okay. Any other objections that you can think of in building clientele, or why we can't build a big, strong, effective clientele? I've got a big one, but I want to see if you can figure it out.
I feel like my brain is not working this morning.
How about mindset?
Oh yeah, definitely mindset.
Mindset, yeah, like you're like, oh, my brain's not
right,
working.
Yeah. If your mind's not right, then you're not right and your business isn't right.
Yes, that's why it's so important to get your mindset right. Like when you walk into your business and you got personal stuff going on in your life and you bring that into your business, guess what? That's the result that you're going to get out of the day. So making sure that we're like, okay, everybody is going to struggle with mindset. Not one person I've ever met is like, oh, I've had a good mindset my whole life. They're damn liars. So mindset's a big one. So if you're feeling like, okay, clients don't want to pre-book, blah, 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 we got a solution for that. That's just in the business. But if it's energy, I don't have enough energy, I don't have enough time, or I just can't get my mindset right, that comes into how you are operating in your business, which essentially affects the client enhancement. And so the client experience, enhancing the client experience. So then when you don't enhance the client experience, then the likelihood of you being able to build clientele goes down. And then you have to work harder. And then this yo-yoing, it's going to take you 3 to 5 years to profit $100,000.
Yeah,
versus just a couple.
Professionals, which it's hard to not let life get in the way of work sometimes with what's going on. But I have watched a lot of beauty professionals who let their life get the best of their job and say they'll be super active on social media, all of a sudden they're ghosts, and it's like, well, what happened to her? Or I do it too, dude. I do it too, but trying to also take yourself out of that, it's hard. But
I do it.
Do it.
I have this love-hate relationship with social media. Everybody knows it. All the people in my business group crack up at me because they're like, Lacey, we can tell when you're loving it, and we 100% know when you hate it because we don't hear from you for 2 weeks.
Right.
Because people are watching. Yeah. Because I've positioned myself as a celebrity, an expert, authority of coaching and education and building business, people watch. Because I have enhanced their lives, I've enhanced my life, I've grown other people. The client experience when you come into Lacey's life is, oh, I want to know more of what she does. It's no different than you having a clientele and servicing them. What we do on social media is no different. We just have to be intentional. Social media is a tool. It is a resource for us to enhance the client experience and for us to market for free.
Yeah.
And instead of being like, oh, this is my journal. I think it's a good way
of someone showing their personality too, because I've noticed that when I didn't show my face, it's a lot harder for people to connect to you, and clients want to book with you also. And I feel like when I look at other social media people and I'm like, oh, this is their face, this is their brand, this is what they're known for. You know what
makes
I mean?
It easier because you've built this relationship. We'll go back to the dating concept, right? Oh, okay, I saw her, she cute, I'm gonna go up to her, I'm gonna feel her out, I'm gonna check her out, I'm gonna ask for her phone number, then we're gonna talk, then we're gonna go on this date, and then we're gonna maybe hang out a little bit, follow up, have some good times. We're gonna make me feel good, she feels good, we're living this dream, and then we're gonna do it over and over and date and date and date, and those experiences build over time. And then what happens over a long period of time? You seal the deal and you're married, right? With clients, it's no different. You could marry them within a couple of services and convince them like, hey, look, never going anywhere.
Yeah.
Which is good for your business. Now, if you go to marry another human being and spend the rest of your life with them, take some more time than just, 2 services, right? Like 2 hours of time. But in your business, you have the ability to collapse all of that because we don't have our personal lives attached to that.
Yeah.
So it's important to understand that an objection in your business when building a clientele or a struggle is that you're going to have a mindset. Yeah. So what we can do around these things is mindset. This is you could just turn this around with affirmations. Mm-hmm. You could literally take a dry erase marker, write 5 affirmations on your window or on your mirror in your bathroom, and you say them every day. That's how I started with mine. Mm-hmm. And now I'm speaking on stage about how I totally transcended that mindset so that I could be the person I needed to be in business so I could grow and then equaling profit. Mm-hmm. You guys are our clients in here. Even though you're tenants and you're independent, you guys are think about this. The experience that you have from here, from the time that you reached out to us to now, is consistent. It is value packed. It is clear. It is transparent. It is honest. It is secure. Makes you want to stay. We're intentional about that because we do the same thing in our business, even though it's not hair, even though it's not lashes or selling a product. But some objections is some beauty professionals are not going to make it as business owners because they don't want it. And that's that's a mindset thing. But if they told themselves every day, like, I profit 6 figures in my business, I create the most luxurious client experience, I am a powerful businesswoman, I can effectively and efficiently manage my time. If you told yourself out loud those 3, 4, 5 affirmations every day, the mindset around your business would shift and you would take off because your mind is like what you focus on are the results that you're going to get. What you feed your focus on. Like if you feed your mindset on negativity and like not feeling worth it, 100% that's going to happen. Right. In your business. That's going to show up everywhere. And then because you're in a negative mindset, you're going to seek validation for those things so you can be right. And then you're going to repeat this like cycle of toxicity over and over in your business, which is going to spill into the client experience, which is going to affect your bottom and your top dollar, equaling you having to work harder for your money and not smarter, which is out of alignment with what we want. So energy, that's taking care of your time. Maybe that's time blocking. Maybe that's going to the gym. Maybe that's getting real about, hey, I need to take water breaks or lunch breaks. You need to take care of yourself. Maybe you need to supplement. Maybe you need to tell your friends, hey, no, I can't go out for drinks on Friday because Saturday I work at 7 a.m. or 8 a.m. I can't be hungover in my work. I can't be hungover while I'm doing clients because that affects my client experience. Sometimes the energy is because you don't say no. So maybe some boundaries need to be put in place, or maybe some reorganizing or replanning. Time comes down to calendar, blocking, and what's important. Where you spend your most time is what you value. I spend most of my time education, coaching, and in this building. That is what I value 100% the most out of everything. I spend a lot of time in my relationship with Josh, communicating, coming to agreements, understanding each other, growing as people, because that's what's important to me. I also spend a lot of time on my own personal development. I go to therapy. I work on the stuff that has affected me early on in my life so I could be a better educator, so I could be a better coach and a better wife and a better friend and everything, because that's what means most to me. So I'm willing to spend my time on it. So if you don't have time, ask yourself, what am I spending my time on? And does that actually serve you? We have this thing in our coaching organization. One of the guys says, scrolling on social media just 24/7 without there being an intention or purpose. Sure, go and do it 10, 20 minutes, whatever. But when it says 5 hours a day, you're just mentally masturbating on social media and avoiding. It sounds like a really weird thing, but he's 100% right. Right. We're just mentally numbing and scrolling because we're avoiding. And then we blame it on, we don't have enough time. Focus your time on the things that are important to you. Yeah. So, do you have any questions about, we talk about the whole client experience, your non-negotiable, and your objections. Can you see how this can change the way that the client says yes or no to whether they're going to come back in or whether they're going to refer you? Any questions? No. Okay, great.
That's pretty straightforward.
So straightforward. I try. Okay. We're
Even
gonna.
for me, I bounce around. I could never do that.
What?
Like I feel like I have ADHD. I should probably go figure that out. But like I bounce around too much, and I'm like, okay, I don't even know where I left off at or what we're talking about.
I'm the same way. It's because we're artists. But what do? I create a lesson plan. I put a deadline up. I create a lesson plan. And this lesson plan for this, like, I built this. And I was like, what's going to be the most important to talk about how to effectively build a clientele? And what it boils down to is the experience every single time. My husband and I, Josh and I talk about this all the time. Like, we have this restaurant we go to. Why do we love this? And we went there this last week and I asked him, I said, why do we love this so much? Like, we come here all the time. We have spent thousands of dollars since they opened in her restaurant. Because the service, the atmosphere, the consistency, the quality of the food, from start to finish, the drink that Josh gets comes like smoked and there's smoke in this like little glass ball thing that he pours into a cup that has a square ice cube and a round thing, like, and then there's, I don't know, some herb like burning and smoking. The whole presentation of this one drink is fantastic. I just will have a glass of wine, but the taste, the price, like all of it is awesome. When the presentation of the appetizers, the presentation of the food, the fact that it's all organic and local ingredients and stuff, like all of that is like, yes, my body is like, this is an amazing experience. We go in there, they know us by name because we go there so much. They ask us how we are. They chit chat with us. What are you guys up to? How are your businesses? They have done an amazing job at turning us into repeat clients because they got to know us. They created this client experience for us, and the service that we get is consistent every time and at a high level for only being 5 minutes away from our house. So it's convenient. That's why we go back every time. We love it. We're always like, we should go to... Yes! We're talking about LJ's. Hashtag endorsement for LJ's Bistro and Bar in Lake Stevens. Because Lindsay does an amazing job. You want to know why? Because she makes sure that her staff has an amazing experience when they work.
I've only gone during brunch hour, but it's always been really good. So.
Fantastic, because her employee experience and her customer experience are two different experiences as a business owner that mean something to her. She focuses on the experience and what happens. She has people that have been there since the very beginning. She has so many long-term servers in there that they're at the high level. So then that makes their productivity faster, makes their knowledge faster. They become the celebrity, expert, and authority in that restaurant. Then when you see familiar faces, you're like, oh, they've stayed here for a long time. Oh, they're happy. She must be doing something right. Builds reputation for Lindsay. Then the consistency and everything in her restaurant, then people are like, yes, she's known for all of these amazing things. And that place is packed all the time because of it. Because she thinks about the client experience or customer experience from the team to how they order, to how it's plated, to the quality of the food on the plate. So where can this transcend in your business? From the time that they see, her social media is super cool. They make things, they take pictures of it, like specials and everything, and it looks so artistic and creative. I'm like, she put something out, I'm like, I don't even eat salmon, but I'm going there to order that salmon. Because she makes it look so good. That's social media. But as soon as we walk in, and it's everything from, do you want to be on the bar wait list? Do you want to be on this? We'll text you. Please feel free, take a seat if you'd like to get a drink. Like, can you see how it's just like convenient for us? We don't even need to leave. And they're like, oh, it's a 45-minute wait. Guess what we say?
We'll do
That's
it.
okay. We're cool with the 45-minute wait because love the experience. So you can see how she has created that experience. You can create that experience and everything. And think about what her non-negotiables are. Cleanliness, customer service, like the look of it, the feel of the whole restaurant. All those are non-negotiables. Safety and sanitation and health is a big thing for her. Because if she makes people sick, that's going to kill her reputation, right? Not to mention, also, what about making sure that they have quantity of food consistently and that everybody knows their station? Like she has some non-negotiables in there. She's got some non-negotiables with how her team runs, how they are paid, how they are, everything. So what that does is creates a good experience. So then the customer gets a good experience. And then what are her objections? Health, like supply, maybe staffing, maybe demand, because a restaurant's only so big, right? Yeah. So same thing with you. Time, how much time you have, how many clients you have on the same rotation, because they come in so many times. Same thing with me. There's like a time where I'm like super crazy busy and then not. How that happens, I don't know. It just happens. Right. So how do we take this client experience and then get them to return, right?
I feel like within the experience, that's how you get them to return,
Kind of. You can give them an amazing experience. The restaurant doesn't ask me if I want to pre-book a reservation.
I guess it's true.
They just are confident in their experience, and when you're hungry, you're going to come back to them, right? Are you to do that with somebody's lashes, though?
No.
Not the same industry to do that.
Right, yeah.
So how are we going to get them to return? What's the number one thing that you need to do?
Asking them to pre-book their appointment.
Pre-booking, yes. So it's funny how one of the objections is the very, very first thing we're going to talk about.
Every time I get done with a client, I always pre-book them.
Perfect. And do you pre-book more than one appointment at a time?
Yeah, I'll book 2 to 3.
Okay, great. So multiple appointments allow you, it's a good and bad thing. It's a good thing because you can start to build out your schedule for weeks and months in advance, which is awesome, because then the more time that you're creating more of a convenient return experience, right? Same day, same time, and it guarantees the income. And the more you execute over and over and over, it just gets easier and easier. I tell people are afraid to do that. And I said the double-edged sword is, if they need to change one appointment, what happens to all the other ones? Now you got to change everyone behind it, because now the timings are going to be off, which is okay. It just is a couple extra steps for you. But knowing which clients are the ones that stick to that and which aren't will determine how many appointments you book out.
Right. Yeah.
And that just comes over time. Yeah. Right? Okay, so to get them to return, we can pre-book and pre-book multiple appointments, which is 100% true. But let's say that they don't want to pre-book. How do you get them to return?
I have a referral.
Okay.
The punch cards or the scratch, or like, I feel like to get me to pre-book, like I like little gifts and stuff like that, or just like compliments.
Okay, so there's a reward,
like small,
right? Like a gift or a reward.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So that you could do a gift or reward. Let's say somebody doesn't want to pre-book their appointments. It's easy as one sentence. Do you know what it is?
No.
I can guarantee you the same day, same time, and I can guarantee the work. I can guarantee the work if you pre-book these appointments. Who's going to spend their money to waste it? A lot of people, but I'm telling you, in the beauty industry with beauty services, nope. They will 100% do it. Some people will not take care of their services and they'll just keep coming back. Whatever. But if you're going after a specific clientele and an enhancement, part of that is just saying, hey, this is the way we roll here. Or saying, I would like to get you in a specific day and time. My schedule is getting full, so you don't have to wait, and then this doesn't cost you more money in the long run. Make it a benefit to them. So an objection might be is like, they don't have time to pre-book all of those, or they don't know where their life's going to be. Maybe you just do 1 or 2 at a time, not 5. Me, you better book me till the end of the year because I will be there. That's just who I am, though. That's not who the person down the street is. Right. So just kind of knowing how many to book will determine the kind of their personality. A gift or reward, another part of getting them to return, let's say they don't pre-book this, a follow-up, yes. Whether that's an email or your marketing is so good.
Right, yeah, I have like automated ones. Like, I know a lot of other hairdressers, I can show you.
Automated message.
Yeah, like I just got my done the other day and it says, thank you for business. This is your receipt. If you loved your appointment, you can, a review would really help me out. You can leave a review in a few seconds without creating an account in the link above. And I have the same like Gloss Genius thing. So
yes!
It automatically does it.
To get you to return, thank you. Like it's that was going to be my next thing. Automated message with gratitude. Because people gravitate towards people that are grateful and people that are happy and people that are successful.
Right.
People gravitate towards those people. So if you can have an automated message or thank you message or thanks for coming in, just like that one you just read, and then what did it ask you to do the next thing? It literally asked you to re-engage. So this is just about re-engagement after they leave. Let's say they pre-book, great. You're still gonna have engagement with them because you still want to stay in their view, because that's marketing and messaging. But when you can pre-book and have multiple appointments, it guarantees your success for a longer period of time, still enhances the client experience. You can give them a gift or a reward for pre-booking their appointment, like the stamp cards, the scratch-off cards, the, have 10% off your next service or whatever. An automated message that's of gratitude or a thank you, and then it encourages you to take another action, which would be review. If you can set that up on all of your messages, do it, because if we can automate this and automate this and automate this and automate this and this, think about how fast you can operate in your business. And then once you nail this, think about how much easier it is going to be to teach somebody else how to do it. And then you could just come to work, you can do your services, you can operate at a high level, you can feel good, you could love it, you could make the most amount of money, and you could be at capacity. Then you could raise your prices, and then what's the result going to be? More money.
Yeah.
More money and better client experience. You're not going to have to organically work that hard. This can seem like a lot of work in the beginning, but I promise you, if you just do the work in the beginning and get these systems and routines and rhythms down, it gets so much easier to manage it when you grow a ton of clients in that capacity. And if you mess up, get the suck out of the way today. And now, before you have hundreds of clients, and get all of this out of the way when you're newer to business, then when you're at my stage, 15, 16 years, could you imagine if I was still trying to figure out how people pay me? That I wouldn't be as successful because of it. So reviews. We have these principles in our coaching organization, and principle number 6 is ask and receive. So part of reviewing is, that's why I want to talk about that, ask and receive. Like, people love writing reviews. People typically are triggered to write reviews when what happens?
When they're happy with their service.
When they have a bad experience.
Oh, yeah, that too.
They're triggered. They're like, oh, I'm writing a review. People become determined to write reviews when they have bad experiences. If you wait for that, that's going to be terrible. You can automate this ask, which makes it easier to get reviews, and those reviews then can be repurposed as marketing material, content, everything like that builds credibility, which also builds reputation. So review is ask and receive. And if you don't feel comfortable asking for this, like, hey, I'd love for you to review my business and your service in full honesty on Google or on Gloss Genius, I would really appreciate it. Or I have like a review program, write a review for me and get $5 off your next service or something, like a benefit program. If you do not ask, you will never get them. And people that want to write reviews only want to write reviews when they want to be heard. If their life is good, they don't have anything to blab about except for to word of mouth friends when they get complimented. But if you get people, and you don't have to get every person to write a review every time, because you get to a point where if somebody writes 5 reviews for you, it's over. But when you're new in business, you should ask every single person to review you. And then when they get in this like, love, seen her from across the bar, I talked to her, we exchanged phone numbers, we had conversations, we went on dates, now we're on lots of dates, now she's my girl for life. You have to keep that relationship going, and that's where you enhance the client experience in a totally different way, which is for a different day in a different class. But those people that love their experience, or even if they're like, hey, this is the best place I've ever been, I really appreciate that. Would you mind writing me a review? That's not pressuring. That's not weird. You're just asking.
I get a little bit shy about, like, luckily I have my automated text to do that for me, but sometimes I get like a little shy in person to ask about that.
That's okay. Do you get shy with new clients or with established clients?
I feel like if it's a new client, maybe a little shy, just because obviously I've never met them before, but I try to feel them out and see how they are. But that's where I like all of that we wrote down.
Yes.
That's where that comes in to make them feel more comfortable, and me too.
Yeah.
So,
You're getting the weird out of the way, right?
Yeah,
Exactly. So when you ask for a review, like be very clear and make it simple. Make it so simple for them to review. So when you ask them, it's not them having to jump through hoops, right? So when I say it said automated, so you can automatically ask for it, meaning messages. Organic could be like it comes up organically just in conversation. And then you're gonna have some times where it's gonna be like a little coerced, right?
Yeah.
You could do that on your social media. You could do that by sending people a link. You could do that by a QR code. You could do that by like there's a physical thing that's like
make a QR code.
Oh, you can do it on Canva.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Because I was wondering how to do that.
Yeah, you can do it on Canva. You can do it on Flowcode. You can do it on for free.
Oh, cool.
So I'll send you some links. Or you could do somewhat like I call this like a seductive, like without it being sexual, seductive type of an ask where it's like there, but it's not there.
Right.
And it's kind of like out in the open, but it's not out in the open.
Yeah.
You know, keep it simple. So anything that you do, it has to stay simple. So that's going to be on, what are some areas that people can write reviews on for you?
Honestly, it's just my booking site. I only have like a,
So
I don't have like a
Gloss?
Google, yeah, I don't have a Google page or
Okay.
whatever.
That's important for when people Google lash artists in the area. We'll talk about that on a different day. Okay, Gloss, Google.
I mean, like, people sometimes will send me like a text, like, thank you so much, blah, blah, blah.
Okay.
Or,
You could turn that into content, no
Yeah,
problem. Yeah.
yeah, I've done that.
Okay. So on Gloss, Google, text, there's other review sites that you could do. Angie's List is another one.
Sometimes there's like a, I don't know if you're in like the community, like Stevens page or whatever.
Yeah.
Sometimes people will be like, oh, I'm looking for this person. And then like you have all your friends and stuff referring you that way and like
Okay.
reviewing you that way.
Yep, Facebook groups.
Yeah.
There's so much of that. So much of that in Lake Stevens. There's so many people. If I could open up a salon, if there's space up there for me to open a salon suite, I would put one there.
Yeah, I would 100% do it.
Yeah, because
It's great for that.
it's needed out there. There's
Yeah.
just not the retail space yet.
Yes.
Okay, so Facebook groups. Another one is word of mouth,
Yes.
right? That
100%.
word of mouth kind of comes down into referral, which is what we're going to go into next. But you can ask them to write this Gloss Genius one, automatic. Google, you could do it in a text. You could also do it in email. Like, hey, thanks for, you can send out a mass email once a month or once every 60 days to your clients. Like, hey, have you had a great experience? I'd love to hear from you. And then just organically go at people that have already written reviews are just going to like, oh, whatever. But to them, they're like, oh, she's good with her marketing. Oh, she's good. It starts to build reputation that you know what you're doing. You're that celebrity expert, authority of what you're doing, and that you've got your business systems handled, even though it's all automatic, you know? Which,
at least it's there.
but that makes you smart in business.
Yeah.
That gives you credibility. Like, that is true. But people don't know, like, oh, hey, I put it all as automatic. We're getting to a society where everything is more automated, so people are picking it up. But so to get people to return, there's multiple different things that you can do to build that clientele. Then the review is simply a marketing tactic to get them to review, but you're also training your clients to talk about you.
Yeah.
Articulate their thoughts to other people about you. So then when we go to our next one, a referral, when you ask for a referral, this is no different. The ask and receive, no different. You're gonna have to ask for the referral. Some people are really good with word of mouth. Some people are really good. They're just like, hey, go see my lash girl. Me, people are like, hey, Lacey, who should I see lashes for? I'm like, Isabel's new in here. Just pump her full of recommendations. Build that business. I've never even had my lashes done by you.
Well, I appreciate that because
I just sent Mike Lean and Mike Lean and all these other girls. I'm like, no, go see her. Hey, do you have somebody that's really good with facials? I'm like, ooh, go see Leslie. Like, you guys all do lashes. You guys all do facials.
Right.
But because I've positioned myself in their lives as the celebrity expert and authority of the beauty industry, they need something, they come to me, and I refer you. That word of mouth is super easy, but I'm also trained. I also teach this. We're not talking about me, we're talking about the general public, right? So how do we get the general public to be like us? You know what I mean? So referrals can come from networking.
Yeah.
And that means like networking with like the beauty
events.
professionals in here. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I went to an event, what was it, 2 weekends ago. It was like a lash event, so even like networking with people in the industry too.
Yeah. And then referrals, you could do a referral program.
Yeah.
Like you refer so many people to me, I'll give you a 10% off or something like that for every 3 or 4 or 5 or whatever. I told you I did the referral lottery. So I basically, you have a program. You can also have like a referral promotion. So that's what I did is I gave away free hair for a year. So it was a referral promotion, like basically referral lottery. You send me somebody, you and your friend get to go into this referral lottery to get free hair for a year. 70 something plus clients in a 100-day period. I would say the 12 services and the $150 maybe in product that I gave away was well worth the 70 clients and however many dollars and however many services that I gained from it. So the referral was, that's why we're going to talk about referral programs, how to build a profitable one, because there's a lot of people that are like, oh, I'll give you 20% off for a referral. And that person will just refer people to you, but those people aren't people like them.
Yeah.
They want the 20% discount. They're just going to get these one-off people, very similar like Groupon. How many times do you go back to a business and continue to shop at them after you've already received a Groupon from there? Very unlikely, unless you really like it, but you had it so cheap in the beginning that when they're asking for full price, you don't see value in it because you equated that experience with the discounted value, which is what we'll talk about in Don't Be a Discount Debbie. So with referrals, you can get them through networking, through the professional realm, which is awesome because those are going to be people like the people you want to serve. You can have a referral program or a promotion, which is rewarding the people that already see you, which is also attracting more people like them. What is another way that you can get a referral besides like word of mouth?
Honestly, I feel like my business is kind of built on Instagram.
Yeah.
So like,
okay, so
people
social
who
media.
And social media. Or like you said, like the Facebook Facebook groups or.
So social media, so
family,
groups, Instagram.
Friends.
Yeah, so family, friends would be word of mouth.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. So referrals can come in so many different directions. We get to choose which way we get to pick. But remember, whatever way you go, Instagram just opens it up to any type of client. But what you market, so this is kind of along marketing and messaging, will get you that referral. That's when we use the marketing tactics like hashtags or, certain trending songs or audio or video or whatever on Reels or TikTok or whatever.
Right.
But referrals can come from so many ways. But if you do not do the same thing like reviews, ask and receive, like this can be like a one-time thing. This is never ending. Yeah. This right here, the referral aspect of your business is what can be a game changer. Because if you nail this client experience like you have and you enhance this, and then you go in and after you've done all of this and gotten them to say yes, 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 yes all the time, yes, yes, yes. What is that going to do?
Make your reputation good.
Yes.
People actually want to come to you, and if someone else is coming to you and they hear really good things, they want to come to you too.
Yes.
They want that same experience.
What happens is you create momentum. You create momentum in your business. And I talked about this in Vegas, like motivation over momentum, because motivation will come and go like the wind, but something that is in motion will stay in motion as long as it has momentum. I said that and I was like, that's so true in this too. We have to create momentum in marketing, in service experience, client experience, in sales, in retail, in budgeting, in planning. All of these things require motion.
Yeah.
And motion that goes for it to then be automated. And all you have to do is just like blow and then they all go. But in the beginning, we're like running on that wheel. But as soon as that wheel goes, then it just goes. Now it's going to be going faster and faster. And the work that you have, the physical work that you have to do to manage all of it is going to be demanding of your time versus this part where you have this demanding of your time. So build the systems and the routines in now, enhance that client experience, get really intentional and clear. Don't be afraid to ask for the pre-booking or the review or the referral. Tap into the referrals too, because that will build you a clientele like the clientele that's currently serving you. Please do not make the same mistake with bikini baristas. And bless their souls, they're just not the client for me. They're not bad people. I don't care what they do in their lives. Like, I don't care. They're just not the clientele for me because they're not after what I want in my business, but they do belong to other people. So I'm going to let them go with their people because that's just not the person for me. So the more I asked for more referrals of those people, the more chaotic my business got because I was after money. I was after the wrong thing. I wasn't after the type of person. I was after the dollar. And no wonder why the dollars came, kind of, dollars came and then it was just chaos.
Yeah.
Because it was really about the client. It's always about the client experience and who that is, because then that makes or breaks our experience. Okay, retention. So reputation really goes into the retention. So, like I said, what makes you unique? What makes you unique over other lash artists? You said some things earlier.
Some clients have said, like, I offer, like, snacks and stuff like that.
Okay.
That other people don't, or, like, I guess have a comfier bed, or, I mean, I don't know. The way I, like, do a consultation.
Okay.
With people. Some, like, punch cards or scratch off stuff.
So the experience makes you unique.
Yeah.
The client experience. That's awesome. It's funny because everybody has something that makes them unique. That's why I asked you and you're like, because some people get in their head about it. Every like me, hey, Lacey's a straight shooter. She's super blunt. Makes me very unique. But that's just who I am. That's what makes my business special. I have this thing. I have two things that I say that people say all the time around me. And Josh is the one that picked this up yesterday. He goes, your friends are starting to talk like you. And I go, what do you mean? And he goes, well, we're having these conversations about, like, some of the things that I've said when I was in Vegas are being said by some of my friends, or the conversations like, hey, I think I need to confront some stuff in my life. Weird how the very first thing I said in being the champion of your own life is maybe you got to confront some stuff in your life. It's like resonating. They're learning because they're open. They're learning about all of this. It's resonating with them. They're starting to speak Lacey's language.
Yeah. I think anyone's personality really is what makes you unique. My friend kind of said the same thing too, because I had clients that started off as clients and then they became friends, and my friend was like, it's so weird how you have a little group and, like, each individual person is like you, but, like, in a different way.
Yes. I have this thing.
They're all mini versions of Isabel, is what he said.
Yeah. I have this thing in the coaching organization. When you don't talk to somebody, talk to yourself like somebody you love, or talk to yourself like somebody that's kind. You'll hear me say, hey, will you be nice to my friend? Will you be nice to my friend Isabel? Because the way you're talking to her right now, I don't really like. Because if you would not talk to your friends the way that you talk to yourself, why do you say that? Why do you say those things? Because that becomes your language. And then people will pick up on that language. Right. And then they will start to operate in that language. And that comes down to who you are being in your business. And that starts to build your reputation. So when I say, oh, be nice to my friend, I have a shirt that says be nice to my friends. I on stage can be like, hey, who have I coached that knows what I'm going to say? They're like, be nice to my friend. Because they know. And then even on coaching calls, they'll say something and they'll see me staring and they're like, that's right, Lacey, I need to be nice to my friend. Because my reputation and the retention of what I say to people, or who I am to people, or who you are to these people, or how you operate, they start to adapt and be like that. And the better that it is for you, the better that it is for them, the more they will gravitate towards it, which will then turn into retention. And then once you have retained them, you have retain and train and replicate. Then they replicate themselves over and over. This is how we do it. This is how we go from 1 to 4 to 16 to 64, because they will replicate themselves, because people are gravitated towards things that make them better. And so what makes you unique? You were talking about your experience. The client experience makes you unique. Awesome. The language that you say, like, we all have a friend that drops a lot of F-bombs. I'm that friend.
I'm that friend.
Well, guess what? All my friends have kids. Well, Auntie's not going to be responsible for teaching the kids the F-bombs. So guess who I have to be in those situations? Very, very intentional about not saying the F word.
Yeah.
When I'm speaking on stage, got to be intentional about not doing that. It's awesome, but is it what I want the client experience to be? That is who I am. But in the professional realm, is that who I really want to be? Is that the client that I want to service? Somebody that's like all over the place, that's not disciplined, you know? So the language that you use or the language of who you are starts to become other people's language. And when then those are in alignment with benefiting you and them, they will replicate and they will do whatever you need, and then resulting in, i.e., better clientele that are just like your people, that will pay more, that will follow you, that will be consistent, because then you can automate all of that. Then running a business is easy when you're getting paid at a high level. Your mannerisms. I say I love you so big to my girlfriends. Actually, to anyone. You'll see it on my social media. You'll see everything. I'm like, love you so big. Everybody says it around me.
I love that. That's cute.
My girlfriends are like, Lacey, I love you so big. Have a great class today. I have multiple text messages from them. Love you so big, sis. That's my language that they're saying. That's my language that I created. Those are my mannerisms, because that's what makes me unique. And because it is a win for me, it's unique to me, unique to my personality. Other people then start to wear it. Other people start to get enhanced by it. So guess what? Now they're in alignment with me, which then I'm like, oh, hey, you need to buy all of this. Oh, hey, you need to buy these products because this would be best for you. Guess what?
I feel like when my clients are in alignment,
they're like, yes.
It's easier to talk to and establish a relationship. That's where, like, when I can't read someone, I'm like, oh, I don't know how this is gonna go.
And the whole goal in the beginning was that you wanted to enhance the client experience for strong relationships. That's why I was like, oh, this is perfect. It's like I planned this for you.
Right?
Because this is how you do it. If you enhance this client experience, get really intentional about this, and then you ask and you receive and you have processes that just build on top of one another and you create that momentum, building a clientele is so simple after that.
Yeah.
Because it's just the way you operate. And then with the way you operate in your business, which transcends into all of this profit, you will take that and apply that into your personal life. So now your personal life and your relationships and everything else will get better because you're operating in such a way in your business that is fantastic, that is fulfilling, that is everything that you wanted. And if you have a relationship outside of your business that isn't jiving with that, you're going to be able to notice that right away. If there's a client that isn't really jiving with the way you operate, that may not be the client for you.
Yeah.
The best thing you can do is give them a referral to somebody that is. If you're booked out, refer somebody like Audrey. Like, hey, I trained her.
Yeah.
You have an opportunity to build other people up because you've built a reputation. I can't tell you how many people saw the externship post. They were like, wait, what? That happens? I'm like, yeah, it happened because it creates value. Our reputation now is like, oh, Lacey's grown beauty professionals. Lacey's provided opportunities. Executive does this. But now the people in executive are doing it. That builds our reputation. That, oh my gosh, they know what they're doing. And then who's the person that's following? Because if Lacey is that CEA in this education world and growing people, and there are people that are benefiting from it and they're growing other people, they want to go to those people that are at the very top because I'm not accessible to them, or maybe I don't offer those services. So anytime somebody needs something, guess who they call? Hey, Lacey, I need a recommendation for this. Every day it happens to me because I've positioned myself, because the experience that people have when they experience me is I'm intentional about it. I have non-negotiables. I can overcome objections. The way I am and the way who I am being on a before, during, and after you see me, the person I am before this class, during this class, and after this class is the exact same. That enhances the experience, the friendship, the leadership, the education, the everything experience with me. I am a brand. What I do is a brand. So if I can do this and get people to do it, if I can do this in my business, if we can do this in coaching, you can do this in selling retail too. Because the better you do all of this, when you're used to asking for pre-booking, asking for review or referrals, asking for the sale of retail will be no problem. So you can see how these little things cut out all that weird, awkward, social crap in our business.
Yeah.
Right? So what are you hearing around this conversation about this return, review, referral, retention, or reputation?
For the most part, I think I have it mastered. Maybe there's just some things that I need to like tweak about maybe not being like a little shy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's pretty straightforward. I mean, it's straightforward, but I didn't like really notice it until I was saying those things out loud. I was like, oh, I guess I do have that going on. Like when you say things out loud.
Yes, that's why we do this.
Like, yeah.
There are some people that have this mastered. There are some people that get it. But there are other people that are like, I have no idea. I am too shy.
See, this was me like a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
When I first started, but for the most part, I feel like I've gotten my experience down. My automated stuff, I've had that down. Just need to tweak some things, but for the most part, I feel a little bit better about like going forward. What part I need to tweak and do better on.
Okay. Out of this entire conversation that we've had about building clientele, what would be the number one thing that if you really honed in and turned that dial would be the absolute game changer in your business? That would be what would result in the full-time booking, full clientele, wait list, or massive amounts of profit?
Probably the objections part.
Okay.
The time, mindset, and energy. Because that's just something that I feel like everyone, including myself, has to master before any of this can happen. I feel like my mindset is pretty good, but maybe just like taking it a step forward and like the time part. I used to message people through text or Instagram DM, so now that I have like an automated thing, like I don't have to worry about that, and I can do other things than set my mind on that part. But
good. We have the fall in love with your business class, and that's going to teach you how to separate your business and your personal life so that you love both. Because what happens is you spend so much on one thing, let's say our business, especially when you're new. We spend so much time on our business, and then we don't have anything left for our personal life, and then we don't understand the balance, and things are off kilter, and then we build, and this just goes and then this tension, like imagine there's a rope, it just one day will snap. Because it's too far, and then that's where everything crumbles. That's where the cracks in the foundation lie and everything like that. So being able to love your business and your personal life, be able to separate them too, so you can have a good balance of time, energy, and mindset. It's going to require you to change some things. It's going to require you to get real about kind of, this is what I do. I had to get really real of like, I just spent 3 hours on TikTok. That was terrible, and now it's 1 o'clock in the morning and I'm going to be super tired. Doesn't mean I get to be let off the hook tomorrow. Just means I have an opportunity to check myself to be better tomorrow. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because I've gotten really committed to making sure that my time, energy, and mindset is right. And then also noticing and being aware of like, oh, my mindset's not the greatest. Don't take on hard things if you're not in the right mindset. Plan out. And if you're not in the right mindset all the time, we need to check that.
Yeah.
We need to check that.
Maybe some therapy.
Yeah. Or maybe
podcasts even like open up your mind, or books and stuff too. I feel like I'm more.
Or maybe why don't you try 5 affirmations every day for 30 days? That will take you 10 seconds. And if you tell me you do not have 10 seconds to try that consistently for 30 days, get out. Get out. Because everybody has 10 seconds.
It's just the way you prioritize it.
Correct. So as we close with this, the one thing that I really wanted to like leave you with is an understanding of what it looks like to build a clientele, because it's not just about service, rebook, referral. Service, rebook, referral. It really has nothing to do with that. That is a business process. This is really about the experience for the client. And if you can enhance that experience, and you have done a phenomenal job, but learning how to personalize some things, okay, that's a project. We can figure that out. But if we don't have the capacity for that right now, you add that, and then everything comes influx, it's going to come crashing down. So that's why I really wanted to go through with like, how do we get this one person to be like, yes, tell all of their friends, whether it's organically, and like they just do it, somebody like me who just does it, or if it's like, hey, look, I need these things. But if you just let it be like, oh, whoever will, it will never happen. I never got great at what I did by just, hey, I'll do their haircut and they'll come back. That will never work.
Yeah.
Especially when you're trying to build a business that's costing you lots of money. We're trying to collapse time, maximum profit, and everything without it being stressful. But the longer you dilly-dally around the client experience and your intention and what works in your business and what doesn't, the longer it's going to be until you hit that 100 grand profit. Longer it's going to be that you're going to be just struggle. And my goal is to teach you guys how to collapse time, not how to take 5 years just to keep you for 5 years.
Yeah.
You know? Okay, so what's the number one thing that you can do that you're going to start incorporating into your business now that we've had this conversation about building clientele?
Being less shy. The mindset part. Like, I'm not a book reader, but I have been kind of open to reading books or like podcasts and stuff like that. Or not spending as much time on like scrolling on my phone.
Yeah, that's okay. So just time
other business things,
management. Yeah. Okay, great. And I have a book recommendation too for you. It's kind of like a workbook at the same time. It's called Mindset to Millions by Shelley Panzarella. I will get you the book. And so you can really read it. It talks a lot about how she got her mindset right. She's somebody I went through a program with. I coach with her now. She's written a book and she uses this workbook as kind of like a kickstart of mindset and her story behind it and some of the things that worked for her and getting her mindset right so that she could net her first million, go from being 6 figures in debt to netting her first million. She's an incredible human being. She's fantastic and her book is great. I have a ton of book recommendations, but if you're like kind of like a easy to read, I want to say it's like 100 and something pages. I just do 10 pages a day in a book. So easy. You know, so easy to do. Just read it. It's kind of like a little bit of a workbook, and then you'll kind of get to apply it, and then just take nuggets, bits and pieces out of it, and then start applying it, and then that will start to turn around these objections.
Just time management, better at that. Yeah.
Great.
Like that objection part is like the part that I have to like focus on.
That's good, because that's the only thing where you're like, oh, I'm really struggling with this. Got this, got that. Okay, I need to focus on that. Some people are like, I need to focus on this, and it's a lot harder for them. So our next class is going to be in July, strategies and marketing. So strategy and marketing is just going to go over, we're going to kind of dive into this like dating of your business and how to market and how to get people really from a digital perspective to see you, to kind of opt in and have interest where they book. We'll talk really about kind of the experience again, but how do you put in marketing, and are you using the correct platforms for the right things? Because TikTok does not play nice with Instagram, and vice versa, and Instagram and Facebook marry each other, and YouTube is owned by Google, and understanding the platforms and what they are, like how you can best direct or how you can repurpose content. We'll talk about that. You can have one thing and you can turn that one thing into 5 different things, and then your marketing becomes really easy. And so it's a less creation and more repurpose. And then after you get kind of like a routine down, it gets really easy. You're like, I only need to think of 50 things a year, and I would have 150 or more, 150, 160, possible posts. And that's like on the low end. Because if you repurpose content 52 times, 5 times, like that's a ton of posts. That's a post every day.
Yeah.
When you don't have to post every day, but just one thing can create, 50 things can create posts for a whole year. So that's what we'll talk about next time. Thanks for coming in. And then this will also be available on my YouTube channel for replay. So if you want to replay it and be able to go back and pause and check things out, that'll be available too. Awesome. Thanks for coming by.